All right, we are live now. Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Welcome aboard to the Morning Note. My name is Carlos Garcia. I'm the founder and CEO of Gar Capital. Here you are, Gar Capital YouTube, Gar Capital Instagram. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to join me this morning and every morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, here on the YouTube channel and Instagram. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, so we got some red this morning on futures. Dow futures are down 0.39%, 170 points. Nasdaq's down about 1%, almost there. S&P futures down about 0.57%, yet the Russell's flat. So small caps kind of holding up nicely. And the real reason the Nasdaq's down today, I went ahead and let our members know on the Market Watch channel on Discord. This is kind of like the play-by-play, kind of like blogging, but just directly to our members, all the important stuff. So this is a way for any of our members to like kind of check in really quickly on what's happening throughout the day. So I kind of do a breakdown in the morning already. But I'm just going to reiterate what I said on there. Today, really, we had applied materials that reported yesterday, and the stock is down pre-market. So you have other semiconductors that are down. NVIDIA, AMD, Micron, you name it. They're all down today. So that, again, as we know, as the prices of these stocks, these semiconductor stocks, right? CHIPS Act, NVIDIA is a monster. We know the deal. But now that becomes heavier weight on the NASDAQ. So when they pull back, this is what you get, down 1%. So let's take a look at the chart really quick for NASDAQ. And I'm going to bring up the 4-hour just to show you here. 902, that was the previous all-time high, kind of right around there, 983 or so. Obviously, we had a wick. But 902, that zone, I'm going to call it 800 to 900, is that zone of retest. So we got a breakout. And if anyone has ever read a technical analysis book, or maybe you're just brand new to it, usually what you get is a check back, and a check back from the previous resistance. So previous resistance becomes support. That's kind of the theory anyways. So now we get that pullback. Now the question remains, do the buyers defend this level? Meaning, do they consider this level as a sale or a good place to buy to defend this zone of support? If we break down, yeah, we got about 300 more points down on NASDAQ. And I'll be more than happy to short if that's the case. But as we know, we are in a bull market, and every time we've broken down, those bears have gotten hit depending on when they exited. So what I want to see this morning is the open. I want to see how we open in the morning. I want to see what stocks are moving. Do semiconductors get bought? Do the mega cap tech stocks get bought? That happened yesterday with Apple and Microsoft. They were both down pre-market, and then right off the rip, they had their coffee in the morning and started really moving higher. And they actually outperformed the Nasdaq yesterday. So that's good to see from the mega cap tech names. Those are the names I'm looking to see if that they kind of catch up to the rest of the market. The small caps, the Teslas. Tesla's a mega cap, I know. But the smaller caps, the banks, they all soared post-election. So what we're trying to see is that, are we going to get massive profit taking across the board, which is completely natural? Or are we going to get a little bit of rotation, which in a bull market, that seems more plausible than just everyone leaving the door to take profit as we're about to get into a new administration. And just a sidebar on that, guys, remember, every new administration, the first year tends to be kind of a transition period for obvious reasons, especially if it's a different party. But the stock market tends to like change in that benefits them. Tax cuts in 2017, if anyone remembers the first Trump administration. 2021, we were already getting that bounce from COVID. We had some stimulus, we had lower rates. So again, the Biden administration that first year started pushing higher. When President Obama got elected in 2008, that 2009 year was rather mixed because we just got out of the Great Recession, but that's when we bottomed out. So usually after every administration, the newly elected one, that first year, the stock market tends to cheer. Yes, even in 2000 with George W. Bush, really until 9/11. So that first year of an election, that's of a new administration, excuse me, stocks tend to move higher, especially if we're not in a recession. The only issue here, guys, is that stocks are expensive. They just really are relative to where bonds are. So I've gotten that question like, oh, what should I buy here? What should I do here? And people send me their portfolios all the time, which is actually pretty funny. And again, super proud of everybody doing great things. But sometimes you just don't need to do anything. If there's a sale that's worth looking at, just like Black Friday shopping, Christmas shopping, guys, it's the same deal. You want to make sure that you're getting the actual value that you want. So I guess for like your Christmas wish list of any kind of stocks that you want to buy in 2025, when or if we get a dip, I'm sure we will. That's just the nature of the beast. That's where you start writing down the names that you want or stocks that you're looking to buy on pullback. Right here, there is no value. There just isn't. There's a reason why Warren Buffett has 350 billion in cash. There's just not much going on out there. Everything's expensive. If you're an investor, you're loving life, and that's really all you can do. And you need the money, you could sell, take profits, absolutely. And if you don't, just leave it alone. That's kind of the best investment advice anyone's going to give you. Just leave it alone. Don't think about it. Just let it do its thing. 10-year Treasury yields 4.445%. Dollar index 106.56. The dollar index, very, very important. Talked about that as well. It rejected 107. Ooh, thank God. And you could see that this is kind of the resistance level that we're at. So if the dollar pulls back, that's going to be a tailwind or a help for stocks. Remember, stocks are priced in what, guys? Dollars. So we want that dollar to fall a little bit. Let's get back below 106. We don't need this full-on missile launch here up higher. We need this to pull back a little bit, give us a little bit of room so equities can take that next leg higher into December. The Santa rally. Does anyone remember that? Crude oil down 0.73%. Gold flat. Not exactly a lot of fear out there. VIX up 2%. Yesterday, the VIX was up 1% and the market was red. So, Bitcoin. So, again, not a lot of fear if Bitcoin is bidding. 90,375. The question remains now, do we get to 100K? And here's my answer. If the dollar falls, yes. If it doesn't, no. I think we may just hover around 90 to around 95, that 100K being that big round number. Everyone's looking for it. That might be a very, very big sell order. So right when we tag it, expect that to fall really, really quickly. Nothing you did wrong. It's just the way the way it goes. Okay. All right. I wanted to go over that. Let's see. Let's take a look at NVIDIA rather quickly, and then we'll gather some questions. Okay. Very similar to NASDAQ. We played NVIDIA, what, 2 weeks ago? We played this bull flag bounce. I think we did catch that. Got to 149.77, topped it again, and now we're pulling back. So just one big, just chop range. But look at this. This is the previous all-time high before. See that? Previous all-time high, right around 144. We rejected it twice. So we're pretty much just checking back there. But this is the key. Where is that hourly? If we break below 144.38, guys, 140 is going to be retested. Take a look at the daily. So we want to get to right around here. That's the gap fill. One more gap here at 140.35. That's if NVIDIA pulls back. That would be my favorite put on the board, if that's the case. Very difficult to short in a bull market. We tried with Amazon, and that Bezos $200 level did not hold. We broke above it. And then we had an NVIDIA put 3 weeks ago that took forever, and it was a roller coaster ride. So understand that if you're planning to do any kind of puts here, it's going to be an up and down battle. It's going to be a little tougher. It's just easier to go long in a bull market. I know, what a concept. All right. Oh, and also, if you like this kind of macro analysis on how things work and everything like that, I talk a lot about this stuff on our Discord server. We just broke 2,000 members. How awesome. So thank you guys so much for being here. Due to unfortunate circumstances, as you know, since Nikki Blackzavinci passed away, we are down a teacher. So for now, I'm stepping in to teach masterclass as well, one-on-one teaching. We went ahead and told our Discord members first, obviously because they're in the server, and then now we're telling everyone else. So if you are interested in one-on-one classes, please be patient with me. We're getting the list together. It's going to be me and the other Nick, Nick DiGiacomo, that will be teaching for the time being until we can get everything set. And it's really due to just high demand from y'all. You guys are excited for this bull market. I get it. It could be a little bit of FOMO, I understand. But the idea is you guys want to learn, which is great. And we want to teach you, but just be patient. We're just getting everything organized. If you have any questions, feel free to DM me on Discord. There's a lot of bots that try to pretend that are me. I will never message you directly unsolicited. If I need to announce anything, we have an announcements tab. And we have the live market blog, whichever way. So we have announcements tabs and all that. I'm not going to reach out to you and tell you, hey, send me this and send me your Bitcoin or none of that. You can message me and you can DM me directly. So that's me. Picture of me and Nick. Rest in peace. So feel free to DM me directly. Again, if you have any questions, but I will not message you. So the easiest way is just add me as a friend. We can go from there. I just want to let everyone know that first, because we've had some bots that are scammers out there. And I promise I don't want anything to do with your brokerage account or your crypto. I'm good. Thank you very much. Any questions, feel free to ask me directly. All right. All right. Now we can move on. And if you are interested in the teaching masterclass, you could send us an email, garcapital@gmail.com. We're just working on the list for now. And over the weekend, we'll get organized. But when the market is open, we just want to make sure that we get everything taken care of for our current clients first. Okay, appreciate it. All right, let's see it. Questions time. Do we see a recovery today? Well, that's a really great question. Absolutely. So let's look at it. Let's take a look at S&P futures first. Do we recover? Well, you got two ways of looking at this. You see this level 59.20? That's just a retest of the breakout, right? So we can tag this and bounce, or we can just hang around here and be red and just hold around this level. What I'm looking at, excuse me, is that a possibility of that retest here, and then we do bounce. So more the former than the latter. And the reason I say that is because we are still forming a bull flag. We had a false break at 60.20, but then we pulled back. But we're still within range of this trend line. So this is black pole, and here's your flag. We just got to get above 59.90, maybe 6,000 to confirm. That would confirm to me for more upside. If we really want to be just very careful, 60.20. That's where I've left my alert. So we'll leave it there. But 59.20 looks to be that support. As long as we hold above there, we will recover. Absolutely. Good morning. Good morning. Let's go over hymns. I read an article about hymns that it fell yesterday because Amazon is getting into the mail order vitamin supplement business. Yeah, you can see nice cup handle and then the pop. So now you're back to the cup level or back to the handle. See, cup and handle. So what you're looking for here is level of support. How low can we go? 16. If that's where you're looking to buy the stock or you want to add some more, 16 is your level. I wouldn't touch this at this current level right now. I don't see any edge here to go either lower or higher. You're kind of right back at the handle. So with that being said, you can see that it's green. I would just wait on it. And again, if you want to go long again and you want to play calls or what have you, or just go long the stock, right around 26, that is your resistance from June of this year. But right here it is. There's not much to do. Good morning, Carlos. Do you have any thoughts on Oklo or SMR? They are small caps in the nuclear space. I can look at the chart because I've never heard of these names. So we'll just do the chart work. But like any kind of fundamental analysis, I'd have to actually look at it and read about it. I don't want to half-ass it for y'all. But thanks for the question, Ian. 2206, that's the 20-day moving average. It looks like we're going to be below it. I assume that they just reported earnings and it's negative. Okay, so we have a company that doesn't make money, and that's okay. We could still trade it. Hello, DraftKings. Doesn't make money yet. Profitability, anyways. So with that being said, 2105, if you can get above 22 again, maybe you can do something with this and kind of play the zone, but I don't see much here. The real risk is just retesting of the breakout from October, like we talked about, right around 1089. And SMR, look at that. Wow, what a move. So now you're at 23.95. You're still above the 20. So this is a better chart than the other Oklo. So just based on technicals, I would say SMR is probably your better stock in terms of price action moving forward, not the Oklo. I hope that helps. Let's take a look at Microsoft. Yes, Microsoft. Yep, 425.64. That's your 100-day. We're below it now. We broke out of it this morning and then just pulled back. So just not a lot of action here. 430 is what I'm looking for. This is really your gap fill, 431. I'll show you guys. There's your gap. That's what we're looking for right there. 431. It's just consolidation right now. Bunch of chop. We'll get there. We have until next week. I have confidence in that one for sure because it's very close. Instagram questions. Let's see it. It's a Friday. I assume everyone is feeling good. Here we go. Quote unquote. Quote, I just got in. Do you think the money will rotate into small cap stocks? We already had small cap stock rotation. So let's go and take a look at it again. If you guys remember the podcast from the election, we talked about how small caps would get a bid if President Trump won, former president, now President-elect Trump would win. And that was correct. So at least that. And we took advantage with the banks and energy. So what we're looking at, like I talked about in terms of Nvidia and I talked about in terms of Nasdaq and S&P, is a retest. So I got an alert at 2313. More than likely we're going to get to 2300. So that's about 50 points from where we are. The question is when and why would that happen? So we're kind of away from any major economic news. We're about to get close to Thanksgiving, and usually the week before Thanksgiving, right up to Thanksgiving, we start catching bids. November is very strong seasonally. So I wouldn't expect much of a pullback, at least just in general for the month. That would be very, very deviating from the mean or the average of what we get in November. Novembers are very bullish. If you're expecting some kind of major retest or a sale or a pullback, it's more likely going to be in December, not in November. So as we get closer to Thanksgiving, usually the good vibes of the holiday season, call for what you want, usually is bullish for stocks. It's just the way it is, especially in a bull market, which we're in now, especially where we have falling rates and the Federal Reserve is cutting. So um, all this kind of pullback action that we're getting, like the Nasdaq pulling back 1%, that's very small in terms of the big picture. I mean, we've just had back-to-back years. If we close the year this year, back-to-back years of over 24% on the S&P 500 in terms of returns. That's not average, man. That's pretty freaking good. It doesn't last, obviously, but just have the expectation set that we may not be getting big moves in terms of downside, especially in November. That's more than likely a December thing where if we were to get a little defensive or look for to buy the dip, that's the month to do it. November seems to be just spikes and slow melt ups and just dips being bought. Even in 2022, when things were really ugly, November was great. Thoughts about buying Palantir at this price? Let's look at it. No, I think 45 bucks to around 42, that'd be a good spot. Not here, no. If you own Palantir, you're loving life. Congratulations. I love that stock. But you're not doing anything here. This is definitely not enough of a sale for you to touch this thing. If you own it, look at it, enjoy it, be happy. But other than that, there's not much to do. I mean, just beautiful all around. Palantir. I call it Skynet. I've been calling Palantir Skynet for like 5 years, 4 years now. Was it 4 years? 3 years or so. But a great company, as we know, AI. I mean, there's not much I could say about it anymore. But we want a good price. We want to take advantage. If there is a pullback, if there is some weakness, 45.12 will get us at least some part of this gap fill. 42 to 45 is a good level, but I wouldn't buy it here. Thoughts on Nvidia earnings? I can't really guess on what they will do, and it's even harder to guess what people will react to, because it's all about reaction. But with that being said, I mean, the chart looks great, obviously. We talked about NVIDIA this morning, earlier, about 144.38. And we do know that NVIDIA's earnings are coming up, I believe, next week. So those premiums are going to be very, very juiced and very expensive. But we need to see exactly what their guidance is and how the investors are going to cheer it. I think it's safe to say that NVIDIA is going to beat their numbers. They usually do. I think that's kind of a given, but in terms of what their guidance is or what they're going to do, your guess is as good as mine. In terms of the chart, yeah, looks like we're going to go higher on NVIDIA. Absolutely. And, good morning. Good morning. Quick chart on GME. This is from Anthony. All right, GME looks like it's got another leg higher. I said it when we got into GME calls last week. I said that we have a shot to get to 30. I think once 30 breaks, be prepared for GME to squeeze. I'm not saying we're going to get to 80, but if you're a gambler, you're like a lotto player, you're the parlay person, yeah, GME looks like it's ready to roll. If it breaks 30, we're probably going to get squeezed higher to 40, possibly even 50. It's just look at the spikes that we get. 1, 2. I mean, looks like as we keep knocking on the door, we're going to get that spike as well. Could be nice. I'll keep an eye on it for sure. What about Snow? Oh, Nick DiGiacomo traded Snow calls. He didn't want to say anything, but I'm going to put him out there. He didn't want to brag, but he caught Snow on that trade. So you could see cup, handle, push higher, but it is back and forth. I would say if it breaks above 135, we can go about going long on it. But as of right now, not yet. I just did fill this gap though at 133. So if we get 135, then we can take the next level higher to 146. I like it though. DraftKings. All right. I know you guys have tons of questions, but I am running against it. Okay, DraftKings again, we're still looking for 44. That's what we're looking for. So far, so good. Remember, we got that big pop from earnings. Right now, looks like we're just bull flagging on the 4-hour chart. You can see your bull flag, black pole, flag down. So we're just really waiting for 44. So what I expect is price action to slide back, probably get to 40 worst case. That would be kind of our first level of support, and then higher to 44. I truly believe DraftKings is going to break. Why is Microsoft pulling back? Initially, yesterday, it pulled back due to the Financial Times headline regarding regulation of their cloud business, but then it was bidded back up immediately. You see this candle here? This was right at noon, and it was bid up, and the stock ended green on the day. In terms of short-term moves right now, or why is it pulling back currently? The Nasdaq's down. That's really, you can see how the Nasdaq's down about 2068. So let's take a look at it. Since I've been talking, it's been pulling back. Here we go. So the question remains now 769. If we wanted to short, how would we look about doing it? Let's go to the again. Shorting is difficult, but 2665 is your 20-day. That would be our momentum indicator. Again, if we get there, that's what we're looking for another level of support. But now that it broke below 800, 8 to 900 level of support, just got to wait for the open. This is what scares me, is that if we get into a short and we get a short covering, they're going to bid this higher. So again, it's still pre-market. Look at the Russell. The Russell is kind of a good barometer of risk. Bitcoin is another good barometer of risk. If both of those are green, usually it's not a lot of fear. All of this here is semiconductors. That's applied materials that had earnings reaction. You can see how NVIDIA now is hitting near 145. There you go. There's your answer. Thanks for the question, by the way. Thanks for all your questions. I think I'm missing a ton. Okay, what are your thoughts? DraftKings post earnings. Again, I think I just spoke about it. 44 is what I'm expecting. Do you expect a pullback around Thanksgiving? Seems like we always have a Black Friday around that time. Yeah, I might. Listen, profit taking is absolutely natural and normal. It's going to happen. The question is, when do we have it, and what's the excuse we're going to use for it? If you want to call it Thanksgiving pullback, fair. I remember back in 2017, Bitcoin bounced and really soared on Thanksgiving because I think that was the time that everyone was talking about it, that it started catching a little notoriety. If you guys remember what the Super Bowl, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, maybe even longer than that, was like 7 years ago, you had Matt Damon on the Super Bowl talking about crypto, saying of taking a risk or something like that. And then everyone was clowning on it. They're not really clowning on it anymore. And AMD, are we going to short AMD, or asking about AMD? Again, see all the semiconductors. That's what's hurting the market in terms of the NASDAQ here. 130, 32.53 is a level to keep an eye. That is right near the September lows. If we can break that, then I'm with it. But again, shorting in a bull market, difficult. Qualcomm. All right, this is our last one. Yep, right at support, 161. Let's see if it holds 160. Could it be set for a pullback? Absolutely. I'm ready for it. If we get some profit taken pullback, I'm with it. But look at Qualcomm. Head and shoulders. Looks like we're breaking down. False breakdown. This is what I'm concerned with. These false breakdowns. And then we get caught up in it. We want to be careful. We want to confirm. And let's take a look at one more QQQ. I'm going to go with the 1-hour chart. Yep, right now we passed that Fibonacci extension. Yep, right near the breakout level. You see it? That's what we talked about on NASDAQ futures. Let's see how we open. All right, leaving it there, guys. Have a great rest of your morning, and I will see you guys over the weekend when we do our videos. Some great stuff to come. If any of you guys have a podcast idea, go ahead and shoot it to us on DM, and we'll see what we could do. Have a great rest of your morning, team. Cheers.